Welcome to episode number 94 of the Developing Dads podcast. Just sorting my camera out if you're watching on YouTube. Hope everyone is great. It's been over 2 weeks since we've sat down and had a podcast. I bailed last minute a few weeks ago, and now we're here on a Friday evening, discussing all things random dad chat.
Neil, we in 2024, we need to get you on some introduction lessons. They're always just the lamest introductions going.
I'm alright with that.
It's like the least excited that you ever get. It's just when you do a Developing Dad's introduction. I also don't know what Neil's doing. Neil's decided that I said, Neil, you ready to start? And Neil's fiddling around like a 2-year-old with his penis.
I don't know why you want to put that in your head, Gordon.
I just have to say this, and I hope Laura's either listening downstairs or she's listening up here. But you know when your wife uses your stuff?
Yes.
Right.
And loses it.
Either loses it or changes it, right? You know, a bit like your car radio or, settings on something. Well, Laura's using my chair and it doesn't recline. And I'm just bolt upright. And now I'm in the middle of a podcast. What can I say? Anyway, Neil, carry on. Carry on with your dull introduction.
That's it. We need to get right into it, like we always do. We start the podcast off. I think this will be the whole podcast of checking in on each other, what we've been up to. I bet you can kind of guess what Gordon's been saying. Work. I've had a few interesting weeks. Anyway, Mr. Greenhorn, what have you been up to apart from work?
Work. I look at my diary and I'm like, I don't know. I actually don't know. Swimming lessons with Olivia keep getting cancelled, so I don't go on those. She got ill, which was good. And not like sniffles and cough ill, but how about I either throw up in the middle of the night.
Oh, lovely. One of those.
Or defecate so badly that it comes up to your neck. Thankfully, the latter was when she was staying at Grandma's. When she was staying at Nana's and Gramps. So they apparently, because we'd had some sickness, whatever. Apparently, Denise went upstairs, just double check, right? Opened the door, and there was this kind of it was smell. Right? It was a bad smell. And then she wondered, maybe she'd been sick again, had a little look, and she just noticed that basically she just pooped all, it's still asleep, all the way up to her neck. So they used an entire packet of wet wipes. So any dads that have been out there probably can sympathise with that. But thankfully, well, maybe not thankfully, but anyway, it was the in-laws had to deal with that.
Did the sickness bug get passed on to you guys?
It didn't to me. I survived it. I've got a bit of a cold now. We now got a cold getting passed around. But Laura definitely has had liquid come out of both ends.
Rough.
So she took a severe brunt of Olivia's sickness thing. No idea where it came from. These kind of we definitely need to do some sort of Wuhan level investigation on what the source of a lot of these illnesses and sicknesses are, because they're absolutely brutal. Illness in the family, yeah. I've gone to the gym 3 times since I last spoke to you, Neil.
Wow, Jesus.
I've been 3 runs and I've gone to the gym 3 times. Could be that for the year. Yeah, I started running again. I'm going to get new running trainers, because when they just don't feel as soft.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're literally just headbutting, your feet are basically just headbutting the pavement. So I think I need to invest in some new running trainers. You might be able to consult me on that. For what, less than 150 quid, what would you buy?
On have actually released, so I've kind of gone on and
Yes, that's what I was going to get.
On and off on. My ones wore out after 150 miles, and my Nike seemed to last me 500 miles. So that was a bit frustrating, but
that's good for the Scottish people, isn't it?
They've released.
I would run 500 miles.
Yeah, they would. But they've released new designs and new soles, so I think I might go back to them And rocks don't get stuck in the new ones anymore. So I don't know if you ever found with your ons, like there's grooves in between the soles. Rocks got stuck in them.
I'm more concerned that I might be having a mild heart attack than whether or not there's rocks in my shoes.
So yeah, I'd recommend the new ones.
Yeah, they've got some new cloud thing or something. They're a bit thicker, specific running shoes. They got kind of like a tilt thing on it, and they're about, I think, 140, which, you know, it's mad to think that I'm thinking about buying. Like, remember back in the day, we'd buy trainers, it'd be less than, you know, 70 quid, 50 quid even.
Yeah, and then go back further, go to the mart and get second hand.
The minimums now are like, you know, over 100 quid. Anyway, so yeah, I've done 3 5Ks. It's fine.
What's the motivation?
It's
Where have you got the motivation? Because you've been off it for a few months.
Just because you need to exercise, Neil. Responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because I like exercise. Like, I like exercise. It's not like I don't like it. It's just that you get out of the habit and you have to like just reframe your brain and get back into it. So yeah, 3 5Ks did a sort of a high 26, a low 26, and then a high 25. So it's kind of a good maintenance. I actually think, no, here was actually the motivation, right? This is quite terrifying. By the way, if anyone's listening who's smarter than me and reads things better than me, fine. This is just, I saw this on Instagram. Okay? So first of all, it's probably bullshit, but either way, it scared me into exercising. Okay? If you have a VO2 max at a level that you can maintain 30-minute 5-kilometer runs, what do you think that looks like when you're 75?
Oh, wow. Good.
No.
Jesus.
So with a prediction, if you're able to maintain roughly a 5-kilometer, 30-minute 5-kilometer thing, if, for example, you sort of stop doing it or it sort of declines somewhat, your VO2 max will decline. With age, it does. So it means that by the time you're about 75, you'll be out of breath walking upstairs.
Jesus. That's really fascinating. I wonder what kind of study.
It's just decline, right? So you hold like a VO2 max of, I don't know, 50 maybe at a high end, 60 at a very high end. And it'll decline roughly by, I think, about 10 or 20% every decade.
Yeah.
So it's pretty significant.
Mad.
So I was like, I think I'd rather not be out of breath walking upstairs when I'm 75. So what do I need to do? Well, probably go for a run and go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a talking point for my pod. So yeah, I did a run, 5Ks. I worked out a routine of actually I can do it. It's easy because it takes me 25 minutes, half an hour, right, to get ready and do it, which is pretty quick. There's a Pure Gym that's down the road. I just don't want to pay a lot of money for a gym. You know. However, what happens is when you don't want to pay for a lot of stuff, lots of other people don't want to pay high amounts of money for stuff.
And they're idiots.
Well, I wouldn't say that. That's quite strong, you know. I mean, put it this way. I have been going to the gym since I was 15. Okay, I'm a 36-year-old man now. Do the math on that, okay? Good quarter of my life has been spent exercising. If not, or more than my current life, my life expectancy. So a good, you know, I've been training almost as much as I've been on the planet pretty much. Well, certainly 75% of it, right? And the gym hasn't changed a bit. People that go to the gym have not changed an iota. Right? The proliferation of fitness industry, personal training, Instagram, social media, yada yada, it's done absolutely jack shit for the fitness industry. Nothing. Like, genuinely, I can walk into the gym and not one person is performing an exercise at least close to what should be acceptable.
Wow.
It's shocking.
Yeah. You'd think with the level of information out there, YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff now, I don't know, it'd be better form.
It's utterly bonkers. Like, I would have at least thought it would have got, you know, somewhat better in the space of 21 years. No, it hasn't. It absolutely hasn't. It's probably got worse, actually, because now I'm going to sound like an absolute misogynistic wanker, but it's good to see women weight training. Okay, it's a good thing to happen because it's good for their bones. It's good for their life, their generally speaking, the health of the mother correlates to the health of children. However, when they don't put away their weights, and their weights are usually like hip thrusts or Smith machine step up box jobbies, which take up a hell of a amount of space if you don't put them away, or they take half an hour to use one piece of equipment. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But then also you've got blokes now, right? Because the Instagram thing may have influenced some people. Okay, so we've got girls doing hip thrusts, not putting their weight away, step ups and whatnot. You've got guys, those those people that are doing like stupid chin up routine things where they clap behind their back 10 times and then spin round and then catch the bar and do a chin up and then cycle and in the air. You've got about 10 of them going around.
That's definitely changed.
That's
definitely the Instagram.
And some of them might pile up like a box jump thing the size of a set of wardrobes and then try and jump on it. And you're like, I just like to use the cable machine. Can you move, please?
Yeah.
I'd like to do some bicep curls. So it's kind of weird, and it's also hard because I was in such a privilege where for the best part of those sort of 20 years or something, I was in a private gym, right, where I could just train on my own and get the equipment when I want it and not have to wait for anything. So now I've got to like time the distance between my leg extension and my seated row in case notes or ask someone how many sets they've got and then be that person who just stands there staring at them.
Do you ever say, "Oh, can I work in with you?"
I'd rather not, Neil, because some people are just, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Sweaty, hairy, no, thank you. And it's also fascinating, the kind of psychology, and I was definitely one of those people. But the exercise selection is based on what it looks like in the mirror rather than necessarily what it actually is doing to you.
Yeah.
Like the high cable, like fly exercise where they're like, it's funny. It's a very odd thing. So yeah, gym. What else have I been doing? Saw my mate Ben. He was back from New York, so it was good to catch up with him. Say hello. Just see how he's getting on. He's doing fine. He's just kind of doing his fitness thing, which is nice.
Is he back over here, or is he going back to New York?
He was just here. One of his mates trains Madonna.
Wow, like you do.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you say words like "I train Madonna," it sounds great, but I bet it's a right pain in the ass. Probably the worst client you could possibly have.
Yeah.
I mean, like the lay public will be like, "Oh wow, you train Madonna? What's that like?" I don't know. She's 60 and a British woman. And then basically that's kind of been it. We had a carpet fitter person round, so we're getting new carpets done for the hallway and the upstairs. So you'll see them when you come down for Christmas, where your kids will be basically wrapped in cling foam because they won't be allowed to touch anything. I had a shoot today, got that done, onboarded the last 2 weeks with a new client, so that's been really, really hectic, just trying to get him all the systems and stuff. The thing I've been struggling with that a little bit, I guess, is you want to demonstrate an ROI, but you're doing all the back end stuff. So It makes it a bit more challenging where you're trying to like get the systems organized. You're project manager, Neil.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that you've got all the briefs written. You've got to make sure it's all organized, onboarded. Everyone understands what they're doing. We go through iterations of different types of creative that we want to make. Do you understand? Yes. Then they send you something they don't understand. They haven't done what you've asked them to do. Then you've got to repeat exactly what you need. Yada, yada. So that's good, but it's hard. And that's kind of it, really, to be honest. Oh, I've got a busy weekend, right? Busy weekend. 2 roasts in 2 days.
Wow, what's that? What's the occasions?
So one I'd booked in for ages ago, and then Laura decided to book one in on Sunday. But it's effectively, it's a friend of mine. He's become a friend, yeah. So Laura did a trial. So Laura started training at this gym, this T2 Fit thing, right? And maybe we'll go down for a workout when you're in town, Neil. Basically, she loves it. It's a small group personal training thing. It's fantastic, by the way. Like, I think anybody who doesn't want to go to like a pure gym, who doesn't want to get a personal trainer, but wants kind of like an in-person high-end training thing, T2 Fit, Old Colston, it's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I got a 30-day free trial through Laura like last year, I think, and I gave it a go. It was really good fun, and I got to know the owner, and he was interested in YouTube and developing all that side of things. So I just negotiated something with him. Just said, look, what about a membership for Laura? and then I'll do some consulting for you for YouTube and social media and all this kind of stuff. So he's pretty ambitious. His gym's doing really well. He's opening a second one soon.
Wow.
Which is great. And just invited him over because he's always fascinated about my big green egg as well. So he's like, I'd love a big green egg. And I was like, why don't you come over? I'll do a roast. He's got a little one. He's got his girlfriend. And I was like, all right, I'll do something for you. So we're doing a beef short rib. I've not done that for you, have I? So it's a beef short rib where, do you know what beef short rib is?
No.
So it's a fat, it's like ribs, but on steroids, right? So what I do is I stick it in a juniper berry, thyme, rosemary, salt, black peppercorns, mace brine for 12 hours. So it kind of juices up the meat. Then it has a dry rub for 2 hours. And then it cooks for about 5 hours. And then you put it into a butter and whiskey parcel. And then you cook it for another 3 hours. And then you make a barbecue sauce, which I do myself. Make a barbecue sauce. And then you put some barbecue sauce on. Then you do it again for another half hour at a high temperature. Then you let it rest. And it's like Laura said, it's the best thing that I've done on a big green egg.
That's like 24 hours.
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. 20 odd hours. Because we did one, didn't we? We did a bone-in brisket thing, didn't we, when you came down?
Yeah, it was with David was there, I think.
Yes.
And Aidan.
Yeah, and Aidan. Yeah, so that was a 20-hour brisket, which was that was a bone-in brisket. That was really nice though. That was really, really good. So it's a bit like that, but yeah, you'll have to choose something when you come down for Christmas.
Yeah,
and you can choose a meat, and I'll do it. I can do a beef welly. I could do a brisket. I could do a beef short rib. Do anything you want.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll get planning.
And then I got a roast on Sunday. Have you ever had a billionaire chicken?
No.
Oh, you got right. Just look online. Type in billionaire chicken. It's just a roast chicken, but you make it with lemon and creme fraiche sort of kind of coating on the outside, and then you roast it, and it's absolutely delicious.
Wow.
It's really, really good. So doing that on the big green egg as well, and gearing up for Halloween, I guess. Which
are you going to any Halloween parties with?
No, not interested yet. We'll see.
Our costumes, I said the kids' costumes arrive tomorrow, Saturday.
All right.
Boys are.
You're not making them for them?
No, not that creative. So we've gone. Well, the boys wanted Lewis is going to be Super Mario. Ben is Sonic, and Isla is Princess Peach.
And I'm assuming that because you're a misogynistic father, you've told her that she has to be a Princess Peach.
No, she chose it.
No. Fully selected by herself. That's good, Neil.
Yeah.
I look forward to the pitchforks and the judgment for you dressing up your daughter in what she wants. And then I think that's it, Neil. I can't think of anything else that I've been up to.
Wow, what an exciting 3 weeks.
Got a bit ill, I guess. Gonna go for a run tomorrow morning. Yeah. It's kind of it really, Neil, to be honest.
Gonna get back on the park run.
It's getting a bit shit weather outside, isn't it?
It is. We've got another storm.
Well, you're getting absolutely bummed up there. Yeah. Down here we're fine. It's like 17 degrees. I'm sweating in this jumper.
Lovely.
And then we're just kind of gearing up, I guess, for Dubai, because we've got our holiday in maybe how long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We're off to Dubai. So that's it. Oh, and Laura got a tax rebate again, which is very nice. I don't know why she keeps getting these massive tax rebates. It's fun. Anyway, Neil, you want to tell us all about? Are you going to be a bit more excited about telling us what you've been up to for the past few weeks? I hope.
I'll try.
Great. I'm excited. Tell me.
In the same vein, you started off with the sickness thing. Yeah, our kids have been sick, but not vomiting, just runny noses, coughs all night, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm kind of bringing the brunt of it just now. The kids have been off for 2 weeks. So one of the reasons that I cancelled the podcast last minute was because it was just, I was done. I was drained. Couldn't be arsed chatting to anyone. So yeah, kids are off for October holidays. We have been a week in Skye with friends. So friends of ours came up with us with their kids. That was great, but just a bit chaos. So they've got 2 kids, similar ages, but also a younger one. She's a nutter, and he might listen to the podcast, but he'll expect me to say that, and he also sympathizes to that. So yeah, just trying to keep 4 kids entertained with rain, or 5 kids entertained with rain, sleet, wind, and skies. Pretty tough, but
I thought the weather looked good. Or are you just doing the Instagram?
No, the weather looked. We had light. We had kind of blue sky moments, but other times it was rain and gusts, and we were sleeping in the caravan again, which in a stormy night is fun. What else happened? Went on a works night out. Got some sad news at work actually. So Craig has left. He gave us 4 days notice. I think I got that news when we were meant to record a podcast, and that's another reason I just couldn't be arsed with it. So he's moving on to pastures new. Bit of a short notice thing. He was CEO, and so I think there is change coming in terms of who will start leading my side of the business now in the product side. So trying to figure all that out, and I've taken this week off work, so I've kind of been not part of it. But yeah, we'll see how that pans out.
So Neil's going to become the next CEO of Shark Tower. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if I'd want to be a CEO yet. I I like my 4-day weeks. Yeah. What else? Rebecca's in Copenhagen. She's in Copenhagen for 5 days. Imagine that. Letting your wife.
Selfish.
I know.
Outrageous. That's ridiculous, Neil. You know, what kind of society are you living in? Right, your daughter's
an equal one.
Your daughter's choosing her Halloween outfit, and you've got your wife out in Copenhagen.
I know.
What's she doing in Copenhagen?
Her sister-in-law to be's Hindu, as well as seeing her niece and.
Do you not get an invite?
Her brother. I didn't. No, I've got the brother-in-law stag do next weekend. So
very good. Where's that?
Looking forward to that. Heading up to Aviemore. Got a massive house. 28 guys. Going.
What an absolute gaggle.
Quad biking.
Spa day.
Which would be good.
Quad biking.
Yeah.
You on a quad bike. Like the last time you were on a 4-wheeled motor vehicle was when you were on my stag do and you threw up in your helmet.
I'm picking up 5-6 Danish people from the airport. Never really experienced.
Yeah, because you've got the space.
Yeah,
you've basically got a minivan.
I've never experienced the Danish drinking. I don't know if they're going to be big drinkers.
I find the Danish are kind of a mix of like Germans and like Dutch. So they're quite like straightforward kind of engineer kind of types.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's a bit kind of like this undertone of an oddness. Yeah. You know, like the Dutch are a bit odd, aren't they? You know, they kind of quite flavoursome.
Yeah. Yeah. Like their beer a bit. So yeah, that's next weekend, and I'm back to work on Monday. So it's been a bit of a fast time off.
You know, I got reminded on Facebook memories recently. On your podcast, on your stag do.
Oh, the German one or the
the Oktoberfest one. That was wild.
Yeah, that was good. I always say to my friends that I want to go back there. I want to
go next year then.
Yeah, I want to experience it again.
Why don't we go back next year?
Yeah, let's do it. Get a hotel this time.
Definitely, and separate rooms.
Yeah, with their own bathroom.
Just own bathroom, separate rooms. Like let's have some level of civility, because you were about 12 when we went, weren't you?
22, maybe 23.
Yeah, we should do it. We should go to Oktoberfest, and if we just book each other, we'll book each other flights, and then we'll get a hotel, and then we can ask around if anybody wants to join us. But at least the two of us will go. Yeah,
I think we should plan to do that.
That was, if anyone's never been to Oktoberfest or never been, you should go. But if you like drinking beer and you like doing bits and pieces, but it's really fun. Like it's ridiculously fun. Everyone's dressed up. Everyone's having a good time.
I'd wear my kilt
super
again.
Drunk.
Maybe my real kilt.
You'd wear your real kilt.
Maybe, or get a nicer non-fancy dress one.
Yeah, maybe. I'd just like to do it again. I think I'd probably also like to do it not drunk, like one of the days. Because there's all sorts of rides and food and things.
Yeah.
But we basically just turned up at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning,
12
to a
hours.
tent and just started drinking. That was wild. But it was great fun. I really enjoyed it.
It was. Same vein as you, though, with the whole exercise thing. I hit 12 weeks of running. So I've been doing
Every day?
No, 3 to 4 times a week. But just trying to get back into that routine, doing like 5Ks, 10Ks here and there. So I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty healthy.
It's just a nice feeling, isn't it? Like going for a run and then coming home, you're like you have to a bit of a muster up to go and do it.
Yeah.
But once you've done it and you come home, you feel good.
Yeah, and that lasts for a while.
I don't.
It lasts for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's good. I feel good.
And you find it's a knock-on effect with your diet as well. I find anyway. If
I don't know. As you sit there drinking a beer.
Yeah, true.
No, I like it. I think it's good, and I need to continue it because it's a good thing to do. I just get a bit worried about like things like Pure Gym because I honestly, my God,
you don't look forward to going.
Sometimes I don't look forward to going because it's just one of those places where there's just one piece of equipment for each thing. You know, there's enough dumbbells and stuff, but if you want something like a chest press or a seated row or a cable machine or stuff, you're gonna have to like get a knife out and just start like stabbing people. And just also the kind of etiquette. Like, and I know I sound like a grumpy old man, but is it really that hard to put a dumbbell away? Is it really that hard to put a plate on the plate tree?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just leave it there. Just leave it there. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Someone else will get it. Like, someone else will tidy up for you. Don't worry about it. Like, it just, yeah.
You're going to get yourself in a fight. Because I can imagine your face when you see someone just leaving their shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? So, on today's episode of the podcast, Gordon's got a black eye. Why has he got a black eye? I started a fight with a guy in a gym.
Pure Gym.
Because he didn't put his weights away. It's in Croydon. It's Purley as well. There's some rough people in Purley.
Oh.
Talking about rough people, actually. Have you ever... You've had bad neighbours before, haven't you, in your lifetime?
Yeah. Yep.
So we've got neighbours that are just down... Not next door, but it's like kind of next to next door. And they've got outdoor speakers. Bearing in mind, I live in a terrace house, right? And I'm talking, so it's the back of the house, right? And I'm in the living room at the front of the house, okay? I can hear it. It's mad, isn't it? And then there's the singing sign group thing that Denise, my mother-in-law, goes to with Olivia. And then all the sort of, the collective go to that singing sign, and some of them are on our street. They're all complaining about it. Oh, it's so noisy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, noisy? It was mental.
And you can't do anything because I think the curfew is 11 o'clock, isn't it?
But the thing is, you can't do anything because it's not, if you phone the police, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing. Because it's not criminal. And then you complain. The best thing is, I was like, do I complain to the authority, the council? They only operate Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. What are you going to do? Like, you go around and just go, excuse me, you can turn your music down. No. Okay. It's mad. But it was mad loud, like mad. So yeah, just wondered if you had any interesting stories.
We had a few episodes of Bad Neighbours. One of the funny ones, we were in Holborn Street in Aberdeen, in like a little 1-bedroom bedsit thing where it was kitchen, living room, and just a bedroom, and a bathroom. And above us, it was just, all you heard was footsteps 24/7. And I came from work one day, and there's an immigration bus outside my door, and you just saw about, I don't know, I didn't count them, but a lot, like 15, 20 people, black people, just walking down the stairs into this immigration bus. And
wow,
the flat above us was also a 1-bedroom, so they'd obviously just been like trying to sleep, I don't know, on the floor or wherever they could sleep.
How did you not notice 20 people coming in and out of that room?
So they must have been leaving, or I don't know. They must have been coming and going when I was at work, or they kept very, very, very sly. And then, yeah, we saw this immigration
But
bus.
if it was really annoying, Neil, did you not just go upstairs and knock on the door and be like, excuse me, like why, how can I hear footsteps 24 hours a day.
we used to complain, and they used to say, "Oh, sorry," and the broken English, didn't really speak. I got so frustrated one evening, and you're bringing back some memories. I got a brush, like brush you brush floor with, but the handle of it, and I was like banging the ceiling at like 3 a.m. and here's me, I don't know, 18 years old, making holes in the ceiling. It's not my flat. So that was funny, but yeah, that was bad. And then we had Crazy Davidson in Cairn Cry in Aberdeen. He had mental difficulties, but he'd find a floorboard that was creaky, or he had a fascinator to put his taps on and off just throughout the night, so you hear the clunking of the taps, how the floorboard's going, and it was like Chinese torture. But when we had that, I remember there was a number you could phone for like antisocial behaviour. He wasn't being antisocial because he had mental problems. But we got advice.
Well, still being antisocial, Neil. Like you can be mental, you can have mental problems, but you're still antisocial.
Yeah, so it wasn't the police, but it was some kind of, I don't know, community Aberdeen council thing, and they came out a few times during the night and stuff. So I don't know if you've got anything like that. It's not quite.
Maybe, but Croydon have gone bust, Neil. So they probably have very limited services to do anything. Yeah. I've been reasonably lucky with neighbours, I think. You know, I've had a few here and there, but which is kind of, sometimes are quite common of just living in a terraced block, right? You're going to get people who make more noise than others. And I'm perfectly happy with like some level of noise, and even up till 8, 9 o'clock at night. But this was like, and he's like grown men and women. Like they've got kids.
God. Yeah, it's not.
They're like my age. And I don't understand how they can't go, this is quite loud. Maybe we should turn this down because we live in a terraced house.
Is that a council house or?
No, it's fully owned. Yeah, it's a full jobby job.
Jeez,
like
you just wonder, like, I don't know,
what kind of person are you? Like, who are you who thinks that playing loud house music outside a terraced house block with loudspeakers?
And what does he do for a living? Like, I'd just love to know.
He's a chippy. I've spoken to him before.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, that's kind of a challenge, I guess.
I'd love to get your thoughts. So we kind of talked about diet and exercise and stuff, and there seems to be a craze nowadays. Every podcast is sponsored by Zoe. Have you heard of Zoe?
Oh God.
And then somebody we follow on Instagram was posting. Was it yesterday? A couple of days ago. He got his diet, like what the hell do you call it? Intolerance tests. And he
yes.
He so what's your thoughts on like the whole intolerance thing, diet, and then the Zoe thing, your blood test? And
so the thing with it, like, people genuinely have food intolerances. Like, you got lactose intolerance, people are egg intolerant, gluten intolerant.
Yeah, celiac disease is a real thing. Like my father-in-law's.
Yeah, it all exists, right? But a lot of these intolerance tests run off of like antibody reactions, and you can have antibody reactions absent of actually having an intolerance. So one thing it unfortunately does is, especially in an untrained environment, is just make people scared of eating certain foods.
Yeah.
So you get this kind of orthorexic behavior, which is an unhealthy obsession with healthy food. So, I mean, whatever. The Zoe thing, right?
Well, explain to the viewers what it is, or the listeners what it is.
So the Zoe thing is basically it's used by diabetics. So if you're a type 1 diabetic, your pancreas doesn't work properly. So you require insulin to help keep level your blood sugar levels. So you eat some food, your blood sugar levels go up, your pancreas releases some insulin, which brings down the blood glucose to a healthy, respectable level. It's like a 5 or something, I think, on a blood glucose monitor. Now, diabetics will use this amazing technology, have it on their arm. It will take blood samples very regularly through this little puck thing. And on their phone, they'll have an app that will show them their blood sugar levels. And it'll tell them pretty conveniently, rather than having to pierce their finger every sort of hour, conveniently what level they're at in terms of their blood sugar. So they know if they need to take a dose of insulin to be able to sort of bring it down. Great technology, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
For diabetics. People who have diabetes, right? A genetic condition that they can't do anything about.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's this trend of people wanting to measure their blood glucose levels who aren't diabetic. And then they'll use that data to then influence potentially what they eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what happens, Neil, in healthy individuals when they eat? Blood glucose goes up.
Yeah. Naturally.
So what are you monitoring? That you've eaten?
But is it not that there's a big spike? I don't know.
Sure. Different foods have different loads. Of course they do. Like, for example, whey protein has a similar glucose load or response as sugar.
Wow.
White potato, similarly. Right? So it's like, what are you telling yourself? You're telling yourself that you've eaten something, so your glucose has gone up, and then what happens is your body brings it back down again.
Yeah.
So it's you're essentially just measuring something unnecessarily. You know, you it's this kind of like trend of data tracking feels unnecessary. Like if I wake up and I feel tired, I might not have slept enough.
Yeah.
But does that mean like, oh, you know what, I planned to run today, but my HRV, so that takes into account my resting heart rate and then sleep and all this kind of stuff and like my readiness levels and all that kind of thing, it says I need to rest.
You're going into the whoop.
But Monday is the only day that I can go for a run, because in the gap between Olivia going for a nap and then waking up, that's the time that I can actually go for a run. The rest of it, I can't. And then the rest of the week, I'm doing something else. But my Oura Ring says that my readiness score is 2, so I need to rest. What are you going to do, Neil?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I agree.
You know, and the same thing. Like, you use your Zoe thing, right? And you track this, your blood glucose spikes after you've had a pretty heavy meal. What are you going to do? Stop eating potatoes?
Well, I think that's what it is designed to try and eliminate foods.
But why would you stop eating potatoes, Neil?
Yeah.
Under what world are we living in that you shouldn't eat a potato?
Or drink whey protein.
Or drink whey protein. Like, I'm not disagreeing that, for example, sugar sweetened beverages, so Coke, full fat Coke, like we shouldn't be drinking that, really. Right? So in ad lib situations, so in situations where people are freely eating whatever they want, when you include sugar added beverages, it pushes the amount of calories, the amount of energy that someone consumes, it pushes up high into a surplus, which then helps them gain weight. So when you're free tracking, when you're freely living, you're not tracking anything, you're not doing whatever. If you drink sugary drinks, it's probably going to cause you to gain weight.
Yeah.
Because of the extra calories and the extra load. But people who jab Zoes into their arm probably don't drink full fat Coke.
And are probably relatively healthy.
They probably eat vegetables, yes. They probably already exercise. They're probably quite rich. They probably don't smoke. They probably don't drink too much. They probably got a bunch of friends. You know what all that does? Makes you healthier.
Live longer. Because it's not cheap. Like, I looked into it and, I don't know, 300-400 quid for a 12-week pack.
Pointless. Totally pointless.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're a diabetic. If you're worried about being a diabetic, you go to your doctor and the doctor will help you.
Yeah.
If you're outside of that, it's an utter waste of money.
I mean, you can get a blood glucose monitor just when you pick your finger and do it for like 15 quid.
Yeah.
On Amazon, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, to me, if you were going to spend £300 or £400, I'd either double it and then go and get a full health screen once every couple of years, where you get your bloods done, you get an ECG, you get a finger up your bum, you get like, I don't know, liver checks and urine samples and poo samples and all sorts of bits and pieces. You get a full like health MOT thing. I don't see that as a bad. Then you go see a doctor, right? You go see someone who's medically qualified, and you get them to sort of assess and just make sure everything's all right.
Yeah.
Check your cholesterol, do all those kind of bits and pieces. Yeah, nah, like just this kind of shit. It's funny how this is another funny thing that I was talking to some random guy. He's a doctor and a physiotherapist. He was talking about some weird shit that someone was Huberman. There you go. That was him. He's another one these days. Oh, you shouldn't drink coffee for the first 2 hours or 90 minutes from waking. There is no evidence whatsoever to support that. None. And in fact, caffeine helps offset potentially the kind of circadian rhythm issues that you can experience when you wake up early to go and like exercise.
Yeah.
So the grogginess that you feel, that's that circadian rhythm issue. If you have coffee, it helps basically kind of suppress that grogginess and essentially allow you to train. And train at a higher level than you would if you hadn't had coffee. So please tell me why 90 minutes. So it's that kind of thing. So what my point being is that we're talking about is this is kind of like 10-year cycle, right? It's these 10-year cycles of everybody's on the straight and narrow, calories matter, moving more, exercise, yada, yada. And then we slowly creep into like this nonsense, absolute fucking dog shit advice.
Yeah.
To the point where you've got Eddie Abu or whatever his name is walking around the supermarket going, this anything that says slim on it, or anything that says diet on it, or anything that says fiber 1 on it, or anything that says cereal on it, you're all going to die.
Yeah.
If it's got more than one ingredient, you're going to die if you eat it.
Eat avocados instead.
From a man who injected himself with exogenous, untested drugs. So I think we just go through these cycles, Neil, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's just, it just doesn't end.
And
like the keto diet.
Money's involved as well.
Yeah. There's, it's just it's a weird, it's just because sometimes I think people just don't think that missionary is enough.
Yeah.
Right? They think they need to do all sorts of like acrobatics in the bedroom for it to be a wholesome, fun relationship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of what nutrition's like. It's like, you know what? If I eat vegetables or fruit or some sort of health, something I look at and I go, that looks healthy with every single meal, that's just not sexy enough, Neil. What I've got to do is I've got to monitor my blood glucose.
And put it in an app and track it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I am curious about the idea of technology kind of going down that route where we have like a microchip or something in us that does monitor us. For stuff that probably would matter, like if you have a congenital heart problem.
Yeah, or your blood cell levels and stuff.
Like that kind of thing would be quite good. Because it would mean that you could probably catch potential cancers and all sorts of other nefarious sort of conditions pretty quickly. But we're not at that stage yet. I think we do have some things like pacemakers that are kind of connected to hospitals, and they basically just tell you to come in because there's been something a bit weird.
Yeah, they can alert.
Like that is cool. Like that saves lives. Sticking something like Zoe in your arm does not save your life.
It annoys me that the people like Huberman and even what's his name, Chris Williamson and stuff, they sell out to these things like AG1 and Zoe, and that annoys me. That like people you kind of you trust because of the content they've produced and the people they interview and the way they interview and their style have now got AG1 sponsoring their podcast.
Because it's never ending though. The unfortunate fact is that you can't verify everything everyone says.
Yeah.
Like Chris Williamson, he'll get paid very handsomely from AG1. It's also not necessarily a terrible product.
Just overpriced.
Massively overpriced, but so is so much stuff that we buy.
Yeah.
Right? Like this laptop I'm sat doing it cost me $4,000 or something stupid. Like it didn't cost that to build it, did it?
Yeah.
But equally, So that kind of thing. So it's not like AG1's bad. It's just that I can't see how it's beneficial. Do you know what I mean? It's like that middle line of, sure, you could take it. It might make you feel a bit better, or it might make you a bit healthier, but you're never going to know that because even vegetables, for example, people who eat vegetables are healthier, but that's correlation, not causation. Like you can't deprive a human being for his entire lifetime of vegetables and then figure out whether or not the one who ate vegetables died sooner or not.
Yeah.
You can't study that. So it's like consuming a vegetable doesn't necessarily mean you're healthier. It's just it probably means you're healthier.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing with AG1. It's like it might make you a bit healthier. It's not going to make you more unhealthy because the dosing of things like vitamins and stuff is not atrocious or silly. But it's just I for £100 a month or whatever it costs. It's like it's not going to add £100 worth of health.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's stuff like that. I still get kind of bees in my bonnet about stuff like that. But it's I don't know. I get drawn in sometimes, O'Neill.
We've got to navigate this life with, or these things with our kids as well. They're going to be listening to these podcasts that are getting advertised, these things, and we never had that kind of thing. We never had AG1 or Zoe Tab.
No, we did. Oh, I bought all sorts of crap, Neil.
Did you? Oh no!
Oh yeah,
I do remember your green powder actually.
I bought every supplement you can possibly imagine.
Yeah,
because you almost have to go through that though, Neil, don't you?
Yeah, you got to go through it too.
You got to go through the nuts phase, and that's like there's a YouTube video. I'm going to find it now. It's by a guy called Philion. Have you heard of him?
Like OG of YouTube, like really old school.
He's pretty OG, yeah, and he does pretty high numbers. But he did a video about the fitness industry and like 3 different categories. And the 3 different categories are essentially like Gymshark bros, right? Kind of pretty boys. Then you got like the junky steroid guys, and then you've just got dads. And those dads are just, people who turn up to the gym and don't give a flying fuck about what's happening. They probably trained for like 20 years, 30 years. They don't take any shitty supplements. They don't do anabolic windows. They don't do like special workout routines.
Coffee
they just
after 2 hours
waking.
Yeah.
They go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week and they lift weights. And they're in good shape and they turn up in like a t-shirt that's, as old as they are. Trainers that are as old as they are.
That's brilliant.
And they just they've gone so far into it that they're at the other end and they're basically just normal. I'm trying to find it. I'll have to find it in the fitness flop. It's called.
Put it in the show notes.
It's out. Yeah, so it's Philion, Philion, fitness flop, the fitness industry. And it's one of the best depictions. Yeah, so he calls different people different. There's 4 different groups. There's the lost ones, hopeful ones, delusional ones, and the enlightened ones. And dads are basically the enlightened ones. And it's fantastic. It's a really, really good YouTube video. And anyone who's interested in fitness, you should watch it. So yeah, Philion, fitness flop, the fitness industry. It's gold. It's really gold. I love it. Do you want me to send it to you?
I'll check that out. Yeah, send it to me in iMessage. I'll have a watch.
iMessage. Did anyone else who's listening to this, right? So I've got about 3 or 4 different ways to message me. And for some reason, Neil only messaged me on iMessage. Everyone else messaged me on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess I've got WhatsApp on my laptop as well. I don't know why I've kind of defaulted to iMessage.
You're the only one that uses iMessage, Neil. Me and you, you're literally the only person that uses iMessage with me.
So I get that from my boss, Lindsay. We've got WhatsApp, but I always iMessage her. She's like, stop iMessaging me. Just chat to her.
It's fair. You should listen to her, Neil. I'd be on board with that too.
Cameron said the same thing.
Yeah. You're the weirdo. You're like the Android user out of iPhoners.
Anyway,
anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to add to the Developing Dads podcast, Neil?
No, I think that was a crazy topic. Just everything and anything in the random dad chat we've had. It's been good catching up. It's hopefully we can get back into the swing of things. We were meant to be doing one next week face to face, but I don't think Gordon's going to manage to commit because he's a busy man.
I could probably commit one to you, but it's just trying to get the guest organised. That's the problem.
Okay, well, yeah, let's maybe try this. Maybe down Wednesday, Thursday. So we can maybe try and get one in.
All right.
Thanks for listening. You can check us out on Instagram, Developing Dads. I haven't posted a reel in 3-4 weeks, but maybe I'll try now after I've got back into the swing of recording one. YouTube is on firing on all cylinders. We're releasing one every week because there's a bit of a backlog. So I think they're still going out until mid-November, which is nice. Yeah, give us a 5-star review on Spotify, Instagram, whatever. That'll do. I've lost it.
You get so excited about life. It's like towards the end of it, you're like, yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and then we can have a chat about something.
Not quite.
Like,
I started like that, but maybe not finish like that.
Are you going to get, do you reckon you'll get the SM7B, that microphone I sent you? You remember the one that's got the preamp thing?
Oh.
It's like the bee's knees microphone.
Don't know. Maybe for Christmas.
Yeah, you should do. That'd be nice. I mean, you don't know. The pod sounds pretty good though. To be fair, just with these microphones, right? Maybe the Shure SM7B thing is a bit like a Zoe.
And on that note, thanks for listening.
All right. Cheers. See you later.